Hello and welcome back to another episode of Kaluno Gaming playing Satisfactory. We're going to pick right up from where we left off in the last episode showing off these platforms. And if you were able to guess it right, we are going to be building a train station hub. So jumping ahead to where I have all of those hubs built, and actually I can see I made a mistake on the far right there, which I didn't notice until just now. One of my stations is actually backwards. We're going to end up with 12 train stations over here. This is going to be our main input section or collection area of a bunch of different resources to start off our mini mega base. It's not going to be a huge mega base, not going to be like some of those big crazy bases that you see out there, but it is going to be a larger base for probably the everyday computer of people playing these rather than, you know, the high-end tech spec computer. This is like, I think I'm playing on like a 1060 is my graphics card. I don't want to catch my computer on fire, and I'm pretty sure there's people out there that don't want to do the same thing, so we're going to keep it a little bit more reasonable for here. So as you can see in these past few cuts, I've just been adding some train track and some foundations as well as some aesthetic pieces to this area. So I am going with a 2-rail system, just in case they ever implement train collisions. I wanted to have that so that way there I don't have to go back and redo my entire train line. And then under here, I left room to do belt work as well as industrial storage buffers for all of the train stations up top. I figure that's going to be a little bit nicer to have, so I have a more consistent flow of items flowing into our mini mega factory. Or, as I'm going to be calling it, it's going to be the BAB 5. Alright, and then we'll go ahead and jump ahead here again after I get some of these train tracks laid out and show you kind of my idea of what we're going to be going with. Also, off this backside here, I left enough room to be able to take some train tracks and build up another level. If I end up running out of kind of train stations here, I can build another layer of train stations above this. So that way there we can have even more resources flowing in. And it's just going to be kind of a copy of the same layout we have here, where we have a layer for industrial storage containers and then a layer for train stations. So as I said, we'll jump ahead here in a minute just to kind of show. I kind of want the train tracks to come out this way, go across over these kind of blue trees, and then turn somewhere out here and head off toward the circular fuel generators, which if you haven't seen those videos, I highly recommend them. Kind of gives you a better idea of how big of a project that is. Alright, and I have about half of the supports done for my train tracks here, and I also have the train line going out toward the direction I want to get this mini mega factory underway. So we'll go ahead and hop aboard here. I'll end up stopping a few times to explain some stuff along the way. And also, real quick, I want to thank all of my new subscribers. I'm up to around 225 or 26 subscribers at the moment, which is phenomenal. Thank you guys. I'm trying to get to 500 to do that giveaway, and you guys are helping by sharing my videos, liking my videos, commenting on them. All of that stuff helps tremendously. So I recommend real quick, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, go ahead and hit that like button, and if you have a quick moment, go ahead and share this video with a friend that likes playing this type of game on PC. Even if they don't have a PC yet, maybe you can share this with them. Maybe they like this type of content. And all of that helps me out tremendously, so thank you guys. And as I said, when we get to 500, I'll go ahead and do that giveaway, which should have around 10 winners. So as you can see here, I have that nice cinematic view of that circular fuel generator station, which I'll go ahead and link the video to up in the top corner here. But this is going to be the first spot that I kind of jump out and show you. So I've kind of carried the same support system down even through here in the woods and everything, and tried to adapt it in such a way to go up this waterfall ramp. So I built this one here specifically with kind of a gap underneath because of the miner that's down there, and some of these sharp angles kind of going into points. Also, while leaving room for the moth to be able to fly perfectly underneath my rails here, so that way there it doesn't clip with anything. If you guys have been following me already, you guys do understand aesthetics are a huge part of my builds. I don't like the moth clipping with anything, and I don't like really clipping any of my buildings with, you know, ground pieces, wall pieces. There are a few exceptions here and there, but aesthetics are definitely high up on my list when it comes to build. Alright, so we'll go ahead and get back down to the train here and hop back in and start carrying on toward the other end of this line. So this line is also going to act as a kind of a main line. So this is kind of the base structure I want to build, that if there's more resources I need to go pick up, I'm going to end up building off of this line in the future. Another line, kind of like a little mini sub line, to go collect those. So that's the other reason I kind of did this as a double rail, is I want to make it where any train can go to any station at any point in time, and also take the quickest route to that station if needed. So if I have a train that I'm not currently using that I want to repurpose somewhere, I want to be able to repurpose it kind of quickly from anywhere that I'm at. I'll have to go on the Satisfactory calculator and snap another picture of my map. When I do, I'll go ahead and post it to Reddit and leave a link to that in the description of this video. That way there you guys can go ahead and take a look at the overview of my entire world build. So this turn right here I'm not done with. This is actually going to be one of those junction points for the main line. So this will end up actually being a T-junction right there, but currently it's just going to be a single turn to head out in this direction. So over here I'm going to jump out again and show you another spot. If you guys remember in my building my turbo fuel, this is actually the Sulphur Valley station. So because it lined up perfectly with some of the foundations above it, I went ahead and did a little bit more work on this support system just to make it look a little more inclusive, as if they were kind of joined and this was a well thought out plan, rather than just kind of slapping some foundation blocks and hoping it looked good. So some people may be wondering, why am I using this huge train line? So the main reason I'm using this train line is I don't have the highest end computer in the world. I believe I'm using a 1060 graphics card. I believe I have a Ryzen 7 2700 CPU and an earlier motherboard. I'm not even sure as to the moment what motherboard that is. I'm sure I can get better tech specs and leave some of those in the description below, but I don't have the biggest beast of a computer. So I'm building some smaller factories further out. So like this factory that you can now see here in the distance over here in the desert is going to be for refining tier 1 type things. So basically turning ore into an ingot or limestone into concrete, and then training that over into the station. I also want to kind of train in a lot of the main resources. That way there my computer has a little bit better fighting chance as we start to build this mini mega base, and I don't end up with a flaming pile of plastic on my computer desk by the end of this build. So over here I have the train stations above these platforms. The platforms underneath will end up being industrial storage containers to act as buffers on this side, because we're going to be collecting all of these nodes across the entire desert. All the limestone, all the copper, all the iron, all of it. Because I want to be able to get all of this stuff over to the mini mega base. And I feel like there was a lot of nodes over here when I was exploring, and I feel like this is a good starting point for collecting a lot of those resources. And I think in my preliminary math, you can almost end up with like 9,000 iron ingots just out of this one biome. It's ridiculous. That is using the refinery recipe for pure iron ingots, just so you guys know. Well, I think we're going to be cutting it here. We have a good starting point of where we're going to be going for the next episode. This will be Kaluno Gaming signing off. Have a good day.